Good morning beauties and welcome back to my Jet Plasma series on my Hyaluron channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to give you a little bit of an explanation with regards to the differences between using the continuous mode on your device and the pulse mode. So firstly, your device does more than just 13,000 volts of plasma energy through the skin, which is like a microcurrent. You can imagine the amount of stimulation and energy flowing through. But it also has the ozone compartment. So obviously when you are using the device, you have the ozone on the skin. It has the J plasma gas and it has a direct current. So your device is, with an alternating current, you've got inconsistency when you're working it. So when we say that this device goes up to 13,000 volts of plasma energy through the skin, we mean every perisecond there is 13,000 volts. So it's an absolute consistent current, which makes the device also very unique. With the Jet Plasma device, this device needs to be plugged into the wall, so it's using electricity, obviously due to the high voltage that it's using, but then also your tip, which gets replaced after every third treatment, this is what takes the hit. Not the device itself. So it really doesn't wear and tear your device, which is wonderful. Okay, but anyway, the device comes with two modes, a continuous and a pulse mode. Now, it also comes with a level and a hertz. The higher the hertz you put on your pen, the deeper the penetration is going to be going. The higher the energy, so you get energy or power 1, 2, and 3, 3 being your highest, 1 being your lowest. So if I was working on skin, maybe it is very inflamed, a lot of rosacea or very bad psoriasis, then I might feel the need to lower my energy or to lower my hertz. The inflammation, the more superficial layers is more the focal point, and also that's very intensive energy. It might not be necessary. So you are able to adjust that. But the main difference between continuous mode and pulse mode is continuous mode is your superficial targeted concern. So we also always explain to you that there's a limit to how many minutes you can be doing your session. So this will vary slightly from trainer to trainer in various countries. So again, always refer back to what you've been taught. You've been taught so for a reason and you need that support. So please don't change what you've been taught based on what I'm going to say to you now. But we work in South Africa on a maximum of 15 minutes per session. So that means I can do let's say a total of 10 minutes pulse, 5 minutes continuous, or I can do a total of 10 minutes continuous and 5 minutes pulse, but you can never exceed 10 minutes of one of the settings on an area because they're targeting different areas of skin. So continuous being more superficial, so let's say that you're obviously, because this will vary slightly from person to person depending on the condition of your skin and so many other factors, but let's say continuous would be more your epidermal layers to your papillary dermal layer. Your pulse mode is going to be your papillary dermal, reticulodermal, subcutaneous tissue. Remember that this goes all the way down to the subcutaneous tissue. So when I am targeting concerns like acne, like pigmentation, like inflammation, blemishes, very fine hairline, little lines and wrinkles, overall glow, all of those things are epidermal concerns. So if a client comes in, let's say she is let's say it's a 19 or 20-year-old that has very bad acne, congestion, blemishes. They're very young, they don't really need so much of the component of pulse because the pulse is your deep, so that's your scar tissue, that's your stretch marks, that's your collagen regeneration, that's your deep lines, deep wrinkles, skin tightening. Those are all your pulse mode concerns. So if she has acne scarring, there's massive benefits to me using the pulse mode on her. But if let's say she is only really concerned about the acne, the blemishes, clearing up the skin, making it look healthier, then do 10 minutes continuous, 5 minutes pulse. Should I still want to do a full 15-minute jet session on her? Because again, in South Africa, we do 15 minutes times 3. That's your 45 minutes on your jet head. That's your 1 cycle done. But again, it will vary slightly from different countries and people and places. So if a client comes to me and she's in her 40s, and her main concerns is definitely her skin tightening, her wrinkle, skin laxity, just enlarged pores. Then pulse mode is going to be my go-to. So I will do 10 minutes of pulse mode, 5 minutes of continuous. I would never not do both. Jet plasma is incredibly successful. Like, you won't find results that you will find with jet in another beauty treatment within the whole beauty aesthetics industry. There is just nothing else like jet. It honestly is the most amazing thing. But what has made it so successful is the holistic approach we have with our clients. So we're always able to target the superficial and the deeper layers of the skin in one session, in every session. And that is why they can instantly feel and see the results. And we have 12 months, because remember, majority of your fibroblasts are going to be found in the subcutaneous tissue. And we are going into the subcutaneous tissue when we're doing pulse, stimulating massive amounts of collagen and elastin regeneration and synthesis. So because of that, your client will, for up to 12 months, continuously see improvements in their skin. So obviously, being in this industry, I'm sure that you're knowing skin, obviously you know that there's massive amounts of variables coming into play. Obviously we want to have them on a great skincare range, but it really is always important, in my opinion, that you do both continuous and pulse mode when you're doing any treatments. If my client comes in and she's got both pigmentation and maybe she's in her late 30s, so anti-aging is becoming a big concern to her, then I would say to her, okay, well, we're going to do 3 sessions per cycle. Obviously, we normally would recommend clients try to commit to 3 cycles. It doesn't have to be in one go, but we want the best result. We want them to be those wow results that we see on everyone who's doing Jet's platforms. Jet is just crazy. But then I'd say to her, okay, so with your first cycle, what we'll do is we'll focus on what bothers you the most. And if she says it's the pigmentation, I can't handle the pigmentation, then I'll say fantastic. Then we'll start with 10 minutes continuous, 5 minutes pulse. And as we see that the pigmentation is breaking up, we can always switch over to 10 minutes pulse, 5 minutes continuous. It is possible for me to play with continuous and pulse, depending on, are my clients' concerns more superficial or are my clients' concerns more deep-rooted? So, and again, both are very important to target, but I can play with which one is the most important. Then something about pigmentation. So the majority of the pigmentation that we treat within this industry is in the basal layer, which is epidermal. And as you are treating that pigmentation, you might be breaking up some of it instantly. Like you'll see on some before and after photos with your clients that almost instantly you've lost, the pigmentation's gone, which is amazing. But please know that each individual client is going to be different. So sometimes you will find that the pigmentation in the basal layer immediately after your jet looks darker. And that is because it has to move up from the basal layer all the way through to the stratum corneum, your very first superficial layer, before it can actually get out of the skin. So please know that when you're treating pigmentation, when you're doing your consultation, as with everything else you've been taught in this industry, whether it's been peels, needling, lasers, know that we always say to you, you have to understand that if it's stuck in that layer, as the cells are moving up with the resurfacing, that pigmentation is going to lift up and lift off. And that's when you'll get your results. So when it comes to pigmentation, please do understand that your clients might have the pigmentation look darker just while that regeneration is taking place. How quickly that happens entirely depends on so many factors. What skincare are they on? Are they doing other treatments to help it? How many cycles have they booked with Jet? So it's just good for you as the therapist to always understand that as well. So yeah, I hope that helps you understand the pulse mode versus the continuous mode a little bit better. When you put your device on continuous mode, you'll see that the hertz go to 0. And that's because the continuous mode is a superficial depth. It is a much broader a wavelength, but it is a superficial one. Versus the pulse you'll see that your hertz go up to 10, and it is because there you can actually, to a degree, control the depth at which you're going. But again, when you train through us, we tell you what settings to leave the device on. There's a small amount of scenarios where you're welcome to change that if you need to. Otherwise, as your trainers, we tell you, you have us on WhatsApp, you have our group, you've got a client in front of you and you're like, oh, not so sure, then we're at your disposal, your trainers. Yes, there are times where you can play with the settings, and again, when I say play with the settings, I'm normally referring to how much time am I spending on continuous, or how much time am I spending on pulse, and am I changing the hertz, the depth, am I changing the level, the intensity of the energy release that I'm doing. So I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that you've enjoyed this little bit of information. I really hope that you're just loving your jet results. It is beyond anything, like we could never have expected the amount of success from this device that we have been given. It is absolutely mind-blowing how quickly and effortlessly we can receive results. And what I keep telling my students, because as a trainer, I still get daily requests for needling and traditional spot plasma, and those treatments are fantastic. I've been needling for like 15 years. They're amazing. Not 15, maybe 12 years. They're amazing, but there's a lot for me to consider when I'm doing anything that inflicts surface trauma, like my client's Fitzpatrick skin type and the risk for pigmentation. Sunny South Africa, I cannot do treatments like that when we're in summer in South Africa. It's not possible. It's way too intensive, the heat that we're experiencing. So there's a lot of inflammation. It's a contraindication to any of those treatments, where with jet, it's fine. Anyone can have the treatment done. It is really just incredible how we can help such a massive scale of people that has always been risky and tricky to help. So really, I do hope that you're enjoying your jet. And if you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you have any specific requests for something that you're maybe struggling to understand, or that you want a video of, I'd love to make that for you. And obviously there's a lot more videos coming up. So also happy 2023. This will be the first video I'm posting. We've opened this week. So I hope that it's a very successful and very prosperous year for you ahead. Thanks, guys.